This is getting better and better. I don't believe this stuff. If somebody tried to make a movie, it wouldn't be as good as this one. The heck is it gonna gain by... Did you see that, the little bottle with the blood?
Stephen Avery's blood from 1985.
It was like a poke hole there. That it tells you, they planted his blood.
The box, the blood in it was cut open, the tape, and somebody put Scotch tape over it, and on the styrofoam box that had the vial of Steven Avery's blood.
Oh my God. What the hell are they gonna gain out of this?
You saw Ken Peterson. He said he still has his doubts that Steven Avery's innocent of the 1985 rape, even though they found Gregory Allen's DNA on a pubic hair that was taken from the evidence from Penny Bernstein's body. He says he still doubts Steven Avery's innocent. And on top of all the other evidence, the fact that Gregory Allen matches the description, the fact that an investigator or a detective from another city called Manitowoc and said somebody here says he committed sexual assault in 1985 and somebody else is in prison for it. All that stuff, he still says, I have my doubts. Steven Avery's 22 alibis, that they still has his doubts. And Kenneth Peterson is the head of that department now, the sheriff's department.
Oh, this has to end. This is so stupid. The young man, Brandon, why can they call the lawyer and he tell the truth, Tell, look, I didn't done this. They make me do this or whatever, because you can tell they're really coaching that kid. They go into his head. They go into his brain. He's 26 years old. He lost 10 years from his life.
Now he is, yeah.
Right. He was 16 at the time. Now he's 26. And it's going to be another 30 years before he gets out.
Mm-hmm. Oh. No, before the chance of getting out.
Before the chance of getting out.
No guarantees. And if he's not going to get paroled if he doesn't admit to it, which he's not doing. To get parole, you have to take responsibility for the crime.
But the thing is, he didn't do it. If he didn't do it, he gotta tell them I didn't do it and get a lawyer to reward something, to do something.
Whatever happened, it's clear Brendan had nothing to do with it.
Exactly. Not only...
Talk about the whole episode.
What about Steve's girl? They don't let her now... Yeah,
they ordered no contact. No contacts for people who commit a crime against someone. It's for the other person's protection. In this case, it's to isolate Steven and make him want to confess and give in.
Right.
Because there was no reason for no contact. No contact. I've had no contact orders against Michael. It's because he attacked me. You don't give a no contact order for someone just because they've been in jail for DUI or whatever.
We saw the vial with the blood. That tells everything. All this evidence.
You have to wonder. I missed it the first time I saw it. That Detective Wiegert. The investigator Wiegert and a lawyer who they haven't really shown much of him yet, who's assisting Ken Kratz, the prosecutor, they were there to open up that vial of blood. You have to think about what they're feeling when they see that, and they must think, we're screwed.
All this evidence piling up to favor Steve Avery. What is happening here? What's going to happen? Even with all this evidence piling up to his favor, he's still going to be in jail?
Unfortunately, it's stacked very high. You have to, again, to show it's a coerced confession, you practically have to have the interrogator, fire a gun next to somebody's head and say, confess or I'll shoot you. That's it. It seems the judges are very insulated or whatever, hard-headed, or they have a certain mindset where they think they're being manipulated or lied to. That's not a false confession.
Okay, the judge. Can the judge see all this? The vial, the blood, the vial.
Well, it's not presented to the court yet. The vial of blood. Remember, his trial hasn't even started yet. This is all pre-trial. He's just being held in jail on a $750,000 bond. It was raised, and his family are forbidden by the judge to put up or sell or mortgage their whole salvage yard in order to get the money for bail. What did you think of Brendan's lawyer, Len Kaczynski?
I don't know. I want him to be more aggressive. He's doing the best. I don't know what to think. He's doing his best.
He's doing his best. He let Brendan get in.
Exactly.
Wait. No. He's doing his best. Wait. Let me understand this. Okay. He's doing his best when he turns him over to O'Kelly the investigator, and he's giving him a statement saying, you have to check either I'm very sorry for what I did, or I'm not very sorry I did.
Okay, that was Brendan's lawyer.
And that's a lawyer defending him.
It wasn't
and
his
then
lawyer.
The investigator, that was the investigator for the lawyer.
Oh.
Then, right after Brendan signs it, and he's being told, remember, draw what happened. Draw where Teresa is when you raped her and killed her. He said, draw it nice and big. Because the first thing Brendan wrote on the paper, he was telling the truth, it looks like, that he was there for the bonfire, but then he went home and went to bed, whatever. And then, stop interrupting me when you don't know the facts. Then, O'Kelly, the investigator, calls Len Kaczynski right away and says, yeah, he did good. He admitted to killing Teresa Avery. And then he calls investigator either Wiegert or Fassbender, and he calls him and says, yeah, Brendan would like to talk to you tomorrow morning. And there he talks to the investigators for 3.5 hours until he confesses to everything, because the investigator said some of what he confessed to is inconsistent. It doesn't add up. So Len Kaczynski organized all that.
That's right.
He thought he was guilty.
Yeah, I mixed up. Okay. But why Brendan fall into their trap?
Well, on the one hand, I'm mad at Brendan, thinking, how dumb can you be? But on the other hand, he is really dumb and ignorant. He has no idea what the consequences are. He thinks he's being told one thing, it goes into his head, and that's what he believes. And so therefore he thinks, when they tell him, be honest, you'll be okay with us, he thinks somehow he'll get in less trouble if he just tells them what they want to hear.
Because he's falling into their trap. Mm-hmm. Steve's mother, why they don't get rid of that lawyer, because it's not good.
Wait, didn't you see her try to?
Yes. And the
judge denied the motion.
The judge, why? It's her property.
The judge was ignorant. He's asking Brendan about his lawyer, and Brendan clearly can't even give very thoughtful answers. He can't speak intelligently about Len Kaczynski, and he says, well, I see no reason, I see nothing foul here. He only dismisses Len Kaczynski when it comes out months later that Len Kaczynski let Brendan be interrogated for 3.5 hours without him. What kind of lawyer would let you... a lawyer will tell you never talk to the police without me.
But it tells you if somebody doesn't like you and hate you, what they can do to you. It seems like...
focus on the actual content.
It's like dark place to be. It makes you uncomfortable and uneasy.
What did you think of the vial of blood?
Oh, that is the most important thing. If he doesn't get out with this one, I don't know what... This is so crazy. Did you see that thing, the little hole?
Oh, you could see the hole. Somebody poked a hole into that. Yeah.
And they planned the blood. And
if you notice the blood, only a few tiny streaks of blood in Teresa Halbach's car.
Right.
No fingerprints, no DNA.
Needle. That was from the needle.
Well, you notice how it looked on there.
It looked like this.
I found somebody. Now, of course, this is not scientific attest or anything. I wouldn't even say this proves anything, but it's very, to me, it's very important. I saw a post online, they said I was able to recreate that blood pattern. And look, he posted pictures. He got a Q-tip, put it in some like food coloring or whatever, and you see the pictures when the blood in Teresa Halbach's car, you see the point where it looks like the pressure of the Q-tip is there, and then it's brushed across from it, like that. It looks like a Q-tip.
If you cut your finger, you drip blood. It's dripping blood.
Yeah, how does he control it and no fingerprints? So somehow Steven's smart enough to use gloves to keep fingerprints from the car, but he somehow manages to bleed from a cut on his finger in the car.
This is all so... a 12-year-old can figure this out. 12-year-old can figure this out.
It's easy to see all compiled together. Probably when it was happening at the time, it would have been hard to know what's happening. Especially, you saw those news reports. Yeah. What would you have thought if you keep seeing them on the news all the time? Yeah. You wouldn't have known. You wouldn't see Brendan Dassey's confession.
No.
His confession, the first one is like 4 hours long, and it's all posted online now. A lot of these, it's public records, so now people can watch everything. They can read the 27-day transcript of the trial, and people are doing it and looking to see where there's any new evidence. And not only that, they know Lieutenant James Lenk who was being deposed about wrongfully convicting Steven Avery and keeping him in prison for 18 years, he was signed to go into the evidence, to go into the storage where the evidence is. And he's the one who found Teresa Halbach's key in Steven Avery's trailer, in his house, with none of Teresa Halbach's DNA on it. Somehow this key she's had for years has none of her DNA, only Steven Avery's DNA, and it's found on the 7th search of the home. The Calumet County investigators didn't find it. James Lunk found it, and he found it under a pair of slippers. Somehow they missed it on 7 searches. And you heard them admit the previous episode. One of the police, one of the police for the Calumet, I think, testified. He said, yeah, they pulled the slipper aside before. They didn't find the key. How's the key get under a slipper after 3 or 4 days of searching on the 7th search? And James Lenk is the one who finds it. He wasn't supposed to be there.
How convenient.
And he's the one who signed to go into Steven Avery's, into his evidence, into Penny Bernstein's evidence kit, and could have gotten his blood out. And then the box is cut on the blood, and somebody scotch taped it shut.
Somebody put it. It's obvious. Oh my God.
Why else? It's just a coincidence all that stuff happened?
Oh my God. I never seen anything like this.
The police don't believe in coincidences, except when it's very useful to say, well, it's just a coincidence, or somehow, or who knows, like it can be explained away for the prosecution. Then, all of a sudden coincidences don't mean anything.
I can't wait to see the rest and see what happened. So this thing is still going on, right? Live.
You know what I hate too? It's not just lying or wrongfully convicting someone or whatever. I hate cowards. I hate people who don't stand behind what they do. Ken Peterson is a coward saying, well, I have my doubts that Steven Avery's innocent of the 1985 rape. A courageous person admits the responsibility that they wrongfully convicted someone. Instead, he's a coward. James Lenk is a coward. Andrew Colburn, a coward. I hate cowards. I hate people who don't stand behind what they do. You do something, you be willing to talk about it and admit to it. Not I have no idea, and geez, I don't know. And I think actually Steven Avery probably did do it, and it's just he's just wrongfully exonerated.
Behind their finger, you say. You know what I'm saying?
We're going to get around to episodes 5 through 10.
We're going to continue this. We have 5 more to go and see what happened. I can't wait to see it. I'm watching the news. Yes, last night it was on.
And it's a well-made documentary, too.
Oh, yeah.
And unfortunately, this stuff happens so often, but it's not quite as dramatic as the police planting evidence. A lot of times it's something simple, like police put pressure on somebody else in your jail cell and say, hey, you testify against the guy in my case, we'll get your sentence reduced. Right. Or they just plant a little drugs on a person if it's convenient. Or whatever. It's a lot of times it's not as dramatic. It's just, hey, you're screwed, and who's going to listen to you? Nobody knows who you are, nobody cares.
Really
but people do get exonerated after 20, 30 years in prison, on death row even.
How the hell? Who killed her? Now that's another mystery. That is something to be seen.